Hi, this is John Richter here, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of my chest freezer into the cold plunge conversion. For me, it was all about making it easy and simple and accessible. I didn't want to have to haul ice and fill up the bathtub and all that. I needed to make it easy. And what I discovered was that quickly, in terms of converting the chest freezer, the thing was leaking, it was rusting, it was causing problems. The water quality was just getting really gross, and I had to dump it out, and went through a lot of different things to try to figure this whole process out. It was a pain in the butt to keep unplugging it and trying to get the temperature right. So I'll show you what I've done, and then from here, maybe that can inspire you to do something more simple, or maybe even this whole setup, or maybe you'll find a way to improve on this. But again, I encourage you to get into the cold water quickly, easily, simply. First of all, I started with a Whirlpool 15 cubic foot chest freezer, and the plumbing that I'm using is actually hot tub professional equipment. It is a 15 gallon per minute circulation pump and a Hayward filter. The plumbing that I'm using is Schedule 80 PVC pipe, and because you can't drill into the walls of the chest freezer without potentially damaging the chiller lines, the plumbing does come out of the bottom of the tub, and that required building a platform. The platform is built out of pressure treated 2x6s, and then the legs are all 4x4s. And then I've got the plumbing basically under here running. That's the intake. Actually, that's the return. The intake is all the way over here. That plumbing line runs there to the pump. The pump runs to the filter, and then the filter is sending that water back into the chest freezer here. So basically built a frame to sit the thing on. The decking is made out of hardwood. It's Ipe, and I had some leftovers, so I built a nice little step to make it even easier to get in and out of the chest freezer. And then I also had a little bit more leftovers, so I even built some little platforms for the pump and the filter. So I've got a shelf that holds a few things. It holds my timer, an ozone generator, a SPA Eclipse that comes from Dell Ozone. I'm using a Aqualogic temperature controller. I live here in Austin, Texas, and it's June, and it only has been up to about 97 degrees, 95, somewhere in there. And because of the ambient temperature, there's a lot of condensation that's happening on the whole system, the plumbing that's out here. And that condensation is causing heat gain into the system, and I can only chill the water down to 46 degrees. Now, if you're doing a closed system that does not have external plumbing, you can actually get your water down to 32 degrees Fahrenheit if you use Epsom salts. And that's not the case with this system, though. So this external plumbing will need to be insulated. It will require a professional grade insulation, and I'll do that. That's really the next step. That really would be the last step for this system. I do have the entire thing set up on, or plugged into, a ground fault power strip. So if anything happens with the electricity, that'll pop it off immediately so that there's no problem. Now, you do want to unplug these things. That's common sense. Everybody should know that, but just a reminder, unplug it. And I've got the cable sitting here, so I will see it every time before I get in. I always check it, and that's also a reminder for me to plug it back in when it's done. Now, what I can report as far as the water quality goes, water quality here, I'm on day 17 of using it now. It's been 17 days, and the water quality, it's just as crystal clear as it was on the very first day that I plugged it in. So the intake is down there, and then the return is coming up over here. You can see the ozone bubbling up nicely, which is awesome. And as far as the liner goes, this is really a high-end liner for the tub. You always need to waterproof these things. They're not meant to hold water, so they do need to be sealed. But I used a spray liner. It's very similar to what's used for bed liners in pickup trucks. However, this particular one is one that has been FDA approved for use in municipal water supplies. And basically that means that it's not going to off-gas or leach any toxic chemicals into the water itself. So it's very safe to get in. So I highly encourage you to build yourself a cold plunge. If you don't have the $8,000 to buy a new one that's already pre-made that you can just jump right into, go out, convert a chest freezer, but do find an easier way to do this. There's a lot of folks out there making videos, and certainly you can get into receiving the benefits of the cold plunge a lot faster than what I did, a lot easier, a lot quicker, and a lot more simply, a lot more cheaply, a lot less expensively than what I did. So if you are inspired to go this route and set up a very complex system, more power to you. Happy to answer any questions you might have. For me, again, the thing was about just being able to get into the cold water on a daily basis, easily and simply with the least amount of maintenance possible. That made it easy to keep the commitment to receiving the benefits of the cold training. And for me, the benefits itself are worth it. I'm very happy that I'm doing this, and I'm very grateful to Wim Hof and everything that I learned from him.